Hey everybody! I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the re-release of the Necco Wafer. So Spangler Candy Company bought the New England Confectionery Company a few years ago, stopped making these in July of 2018, and just started releasing them here in June of 2020. So in just take a look at this so you can see since 1847, just a little bit of history before we get into the taste tests. I do have a roll of the version before this, so this was made by the New England Confectionery Company, before being sold. So in 1847, Oliver Chase, he invented America's first canning machine. It was a lozenge cutter. Used them to make these. They weren't called the Necco Wafers at that time, but they do have a very vast history. So the Union soldiers carried these in the Civil War. They made it to the North Pole, the South Pole in 1913. Eskimo children tried these on one of their expeditions to the South Pole. They took enough for 2 years for everyone to have a pound of these a week. That was in the early 1900s. In World War II, the U.S. government actually took charge of some of their production and used them for to ship over to Europe for the soldiers, because these don't melt. They're very portable. So these have been really all over the place. So like I said, in 2018, 2017, New England Confectionery Company, who came about in 1901, when they joined with Oliver Chase and his brother at that time. So the new Necco, if you look at it, it's still got the same kind of wax paper. If we compare it to the old version here, let me get that in focus here. So this is the version before Spangler took over, and here's the Spangler one. So pretty similar in the design. A couple little changes, but overall, kind of has the same look and feel as it did before. Now, as far as the ingredients, they said the only change they made was to the chocolate version, to swap it out for better ingredients. So I actually have an open roll of the new one, as well as an open roll of the old one here. You can see I have an old chocolate here. Let me see if I can get the same color. So if we look at the whites together, so this is the from before. This is after. Not really much difference there as far as the taste. So this is the one that was before. It has a pretty dry crunch. It definitely has more the chalky taste that we all know and love. So now if I take the newer version, very similar crunch feel. And remember, these are manufactured a couple years ago, and they still taste pretty much the same. I actually like them when they're a little older. The new one, honestly, they both taste very similar. I don't know that I would be able to do a blind taste test and tell the two apart. The chocolate's well done. This is not like the back in, let's see, when was that? It was 2009 and 2011 when Necco changed the formulation. I don't know, some of you guys might remember this. And the flavors got just like more intense, and it was softer, so you lost some of that crunch. That was 2009, 2011. Public didn't like that. I didn't like it, and they did change it back. So you may remember that little bit of time when they were the same. But so these are hitting the shelves now. I got it at CVS here in Columbus, but it's honestly pretty hard to find places that were carrying it. I would show up, nothing there. Call ahead, nothing. They don't have it. You can call to CVS and ask them, and they're pretty nice about looking. So finally did find it, picked up a few rolls. Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to give everybody an update and a little bit of the history of the Necco wafer. Enjoy.